They did not arrive in ships or thunder. They did not descend with war or flame. Instead, they stepped out of crowds, walked along sidewalks, borrowed coats from donation bins, and disappeared into the current of human life. They were tall, most of them, their eyes too deep, their voices too smooth, their hair always falling just right. They bought coffee, held conversations, tipped well, and remembered names, though no one remembered theirs. They asked questions about dreams, about pain, about what it meant to feel small. And the humans answered, unknowingly giving away the blueprints of Earth's soul. The first to notice was a child, a boy with thick glasses and a stutter, who saw one of them step out of a moving bus without breaking pace. His feet never touched the steps, his coat never ruffled in the wind. He walked, and the noise of the city softened like he carried silence with him, like every footstep bent the world gently out of its way. The boy told his mother. She laughed. He told his teacher, who nodded and filed a report marked Fictional Observation Level 1. But the boy kept watching. And he wasn't alone. Others began to see them, not just walking, but gliding through metal detectors unnoticed, standing on subway rails unburned, watching car crashes and blinking once before walking on. And people began to whisper. They did not hide. Not really. They smiled at you in diners and held the elevator door with eyes like polished obsidian. Some wore old clothes, some wore nothing new, yet always looked sharp, always looked meant to be there. They had the kind of beauty that stopped breath, not because it was perfect, but because it felt old, like it remembered stars we never named, like it saw the first flame rise in a cave and thought it beautiful. They asked questions when they spoke. Sometimes you would forget the answer as soon as you gave it, but remember their voice. For years they would disappear from mirrors and sometimes from photographs, yet no one noticed. How that should not be possible. A man in Texas mocked one, called her mannequin, told her she walked like a fake, and when she turned her head, the lights flickered and a bird dropped dead in the parking lot. That man stopped speaking that day and never walked again, though doctors found nothing wrong. And when they tested the surveillance footage, it played back wrong. Every few seconds, it jittered, skipped, like the world had blinked and did not agree with what it saw. Others who mocked, who raised fists, who shouted slurs or took photos, they vanished, not always at once, but gradually like snow, melting from the edges. In every case, their last known sighting was always with one of the walkers in frame, always behind them, never in front. It happened during a broadcast, a late-night interview where the host asked if aliens were real and the guest smiled and said not all aliens fly. Some prefer to walk. The host laughed, the crew laughed, but the cameras glitched again and half the audience forgot the ending of the show. The next day, the host was gone, replaced with reruns and apology statements, and conspiracy forums exploded with clips showing the guest's face changing, not morphing, but revealing something beneath, as though the human face was just a polite layer, a respectful imitation of form. And she said before the screen cut out, "We are not here to invade. We are here to decide if you are ready to be remembered." Now, they walk openly. Now, people turn when they pass. Some bow without knowing why, some cry without understanding the grief they feel. Some run, and those who run are never seen again. Their steps leave no prints, but their presence leaves weight, as though the ground feels them long after they pass. They are not many, perhaps a few thousand, spread thin across cities, deserts, islands, and voids. And yet, no army dares follow them, no government dares name them, no scientist dares classify them, because the last to try was found laughing endlessly in a white room, drawing spirals in eyes until his hands bled. And now, we say nothing. When they walk, we nod, we lower our gaze, we remember, and we never ever forget. It was quiet when they stopped walking one by one, across cities, across oceans, across spaceports and lunar domes. They paused. They turned their heads not down at us, but up at something we could not see, and for the first time since they arrived they looked afraid, not panicked, not screaming, but tense, like statues watching a storm we could not feel. We watched them stand on rooftops, in traffic, on water, and wonder what could make the walkers stop. Then the sky shimmered for a moment, like the air was peeling, and somewhere in the upper atmosphere, an arc of violet light split the clouds, and the power went out across half the planet. And those with implants screamed, and those with old radios heard a voice say, "Not them, not yet, not you." And the walkers closed their eyes and began walking again, faster now, sharper with purpose. And none of us could sleep that night because the stars did not blink. They watched. They began gathering not in cities, not in temples, but in places where the earth had torn itself open. Craters, volcanoes, old battlefield cradles. They stood in perfect silence, in circles, in spirals, in moving lines across salt flats and frozen lakes. And we watched, not knowing what to do, what to offer, what to pray. And then one of them turned to a soldier near the edge of a circle and reached out, not to harm, not to speak, but to show. And the soldier dropped to his knees and whispered, "They are running. They are not gods, they are survivors. And what chased them is still hungry and older than any sun, and stronger than the bonds between atoms." And we saw the walkers shake. We saw them bleed light. We saw their forms stutter and split like heat on broken glass. And we understood that what walks among us does not seek worship or war, but warning. And still they walk. And now, we walk too. We follow them. We train, we listen, we learn their stride. Because what follows them is coming. And when it does, it will not walk, it will not ask, it will not forget, and it will not be matched.